Okay, outranging hostile AA capabilities. Okay. If you can outrange a target, you're gonna be safer, right? So what I always tell everybody, even the JTAGs, is to set the BPs minimum 3 kilometers. Why 3 kilometers? Well, because that's the max range of an Igla. If you outrange an Igla, they can fire an Igla at you. Common sense. But I actually recommend you make it 3.2 to give the airframe a little bit of a breathing, to have some space to maneuver. If you need to move a little bit forward, you'll have the room, right? So, first rule: always have your BPs 3 kilometers away minimum, and 3.2 is recommended. If you're in something like an Apache, does not fucking matter. You can set it up to 4 kilometers and hellfire things from the other end. Okay. Second rule is monitoring your flanks. Okay. Yes, 3 kilometer BPs are awesome, but if a BG pops up, goes along the MSR, gets in about 2 kilometer range, sees you and fires an Eagle at you, well, you still lose the asset. So that's where 1.8s, and if you want something like a little bit, co-pilots are a good thing, because they will keep monitoring your flanks. They'll, make sure you're staying in the air. So monitor your flanks. If something's coming in, coming closer, move or engage that target. But remember to ask for clearance to engage that target. Okay, don't do things on your own. So that's number 2. Number 3, which is going to get me some hate, but never do strafes. Okay, strafes in Liberation is a bad idea for a reason. Okay, the main way spawns happen, mostly infantry spawns happen, is in squads. Okay, and squads will be minimum 6, maximum about 10 or 11 guys. Okay, and in each squad there will be minimum 1 manpad. Okay, and strafing distances are less than about 500 meters. Okay, let's say you've been tasked to engage an 8-man squad. Okay, you fire Hydras, you kill, let's say, 6 out of 8. 2 remaining. If one of them have an Igla, you're dead when you're getting out. Because the little bird doesn't have any good countermeasure systems, and is not fast enough to get out of the dodge before you get shot at again. Okay? Unless you have a magical terrain that you can hide behind in like less than a second. Okay? So never do strafing of any kind. Strafes are a bad idea. Okay? There's a reason why we always do standoffs. Because it works and does not get you killed. So that's number 3. Number 4, which is a bit of a no-brainer, mostly applicable for Reapers and Demons, but never fly over hostile territory. Okay? One guy on the ground can proc about 3 patrols in one sitting. Okay? There's no X amount of players needed to proc an objective anymore. One guy will proc half the map if he wants. Okay? So if you can avoid it, don't get close to hostile territories at all. Okay? Distance is your ally. Yes, it will make you less effective, especially with Hydras, because you won't be able to aim them as accurate. But I take not being killed over, killing 2 less guys. Okay? So that's number 4. Number 5 and last rule is 1.8 and co-pilots. Okay. Personally, I never fly if there is no 1.8. I'll be in the slot, I'll wait for a 1.8, but I will never fly if there isn't one. Okay, for a good reason. Imagine this scenario. Okay, there are 30 guys in the server right now. Okay, 30 guys plus you, 31 guys. Okay, there's 1.6, there's 1.9, and 2 infantry squads, and then there's you as a demon. You don't have a co-pilot. Okay. And then let's say you're operating a light little bird. There is no way that 1.6 can listen to 2 other squads at once, talk to ogres, talk to 6 if there is one, and then task you properly on board with incoming threats. Okay, that's why 1.6s have a lot of stuff to do. If they have 1.7, yes, maybe he can be a impromptu JTAG. He can fill in the gap for what 1.8 shows. But 1A is the best you're gonna get. Okay, the guy has a drone. The guy has no other jobs than tasking you or other air assets or other qualified elements. Okay, he's gonna warn you about the threats. He's gonna keep monitoring your flanks. He's gonna keep monitoring the AO, and he's gonna call you for action. Okay. If there is 1-6, okay, the best you can hope for may be calling out the occasional target that you see and asking for clearance, which it will take some time for him to actually understand what the fuck you're talking about. Okay? So never ever fly without a 1-8 if you can avoid it. Okay? And co-pilots, when I say co-pilots, I mean co-pilots in a little bird. Okay? We have a different term for the second seater, the Apache and the Viper. So, if you're in a little bird, okay, and you have a co-pilot, you can pick up that guy's laser and be like more than 100% accurate with your hydras. Because that guy has a flare system, he can see in thermals, he can zoom it 32 times. And you have your Mark 1 eyeballs, right? You have nothing else. Yes, you have maybe HMD things, and if 1-8 can put markers and that shit, yes, you can aim a little bit better. But the co-pilot can basically make your hydras pixel fucking precise if you practice together, okay? And you will use less hydras per call for fire if you're accurate. Meaning more time on station, more targets get prosecuted, okay? So co-pilot on 1-8 presence is the 5th rule and the last rule, okay? Now, any questions in the safety department until this point? Okay, am I going too fast or too slow? Let me know. Okay?
You're going fine, I think. I'm following you. That's for something that doesn't have much.
I'd say this is good for the most part.
Okay, so I'm gonna move on to... Before I move on to assets, actually, I'm going to talk about some of the assets that you'll get to operate, and what almost they use and what they're good for, and what they're bad for. So, for this, I'm going to go to the helicopter spawner and basically show them, because you may not have seen them before, because we don't get to purchase every single asset in the campaign. So I'm going to start with the light little bird. You may have seen that. Is the cheapest option. It's like dirt fucking cheap actually. 200, 200, 300, like less than like just that cheap. Look, 762 miniguns don't even fucking bother. Like I'm not gonna bother mentioning those. They have they don't even have enough range for the BPs. But the hydras, well. This is basically a mini hydra truck, okay? 14 hydras in total, which isn't much, but as I said, if you're accurate enough, you're gonna waste less than 3 hydras per strike, okay? And, well, divide 14 by 3, and yeah, that amount of qualifiers you can do effective, right? But remember, as I said before, always have a 1A and a co-pilot in this thing if you want to be extremely effective, okay? This looks very useless on paper, but these are hydras, okay? Hydras have a kill radius of about 6 meters if the target's standing, and wounding radius of 10, okay? So hydras are pretty fucking deadly, and most EI patrols that you'll encounter will either move on a wedge formation or a single file, okay? They'll go to wedge formation once they start engaging things, okay? So if you see a wedge formation squad, you can wipe like half of them in a single hydra, okay? So that's light, okay? If we were to rank this 10 out of something, this would be 5, okay? And it's 5 because it does not have a lot of options, and it's mainly anti-personnel, okay? Next, I'm gonna bring up the medium one. So this thing, I don't like as much, if I'm gonna be honest. The reason is, it does not... there's no major upgrades to this thing. You only get to carry a little bit more hydras, okay? And if you're effective enough, the amount of hydras you carry aren't going to be that much of a factor, because you can always go back and get some more. And hydras in the little bird